Hello, this is Sam Mohaj
And John Matthews.
with Season 7 of GBTV's The Gameclock. Today is September 25th as this recording is happening, so all sports may not be up to date. And your varsity sports.
NFA football plays against Warwick on September 27th. That will be the pink out, so make sure you wear pink to school on Friday.
The girls' varsity tennis team caught a W on September 20th against Pine Bush. Isabella Perot won her singles match, and Ekta Patel and Jade Garay won their doubles match.
Girls soccer from September 18th. They lost to Kingston 3-1. Brianna Forty did score a goal, though.
And your boys' soccer news. On September 23rd, the boys' soccer team won 4-1 against Washingtonville. Anthony Murcia once again led the way with 2 goals. And your MLB, NBA, and NFL news. The MLB postseason race is still heating up, but Tampa Bay recently took a half-game lead over the Cleveland Indians. It's a huge turn of events, because last week we reported that the Indians were only a half-game back, but they have been struggling as of recent.
NFL news. Daniel Jones had a very impressive first career start for the Giants, as he led the way with over 300 passing yards and 4 total touchdowns in the win against Tampa Bay.
This is kind of a hot take right here, but the Cleveland Browns have started out to a 1-2 start. There's a lot of hype surrounding this team. They're young and they're talented. Baker Mayfield at quarterback, OBJ, Jarvis Landry, Nick Chubb. There's a lot of talent to go around on the offensive side. And let's not forget about the defensive side of the ball with Denzel Ward and Myles Garrett, but yet they seem to be struggling. They did have a win against the Jets, but the Jets were onto their third-string quarterback with Luke Falk, and the game clock was actually at that game, seeing live coverage. So my personal opinion, when I watch Baker Mayfield, he's not as spectacular as he was last year, I feel like. But, it's going to happen. There's such thing as a sophomore slump in the NFL. But they need to turn it around, the Browns. And maybe it's Freddie Kitchens to blame.
Yeah, I was going to say, Freddie Kitchens had some very questionable play calls down the stretch. I mean, first and goal, pass, second and goal, pass, third and goal, pass, fourth and goal, running back draw. That's kind of questionable. I don't know.
Yeah, and they're also the most penalized team in the NFL as of now. They have so many penalties, like they need to get disciplined.
Yeah, of course.
The locker room seems to be like a mess. OBJ, pretty soon if the Browns continue this cold streak, he is going to come out and demand a trade once again. But we'll see. I wish the Browns the best, but they're going to have to turn something around. Otherwise, this whole hyped-up season of them going to the playoffs and being the leader of the AFC North is not going to work out too well.
Redskins fans might start rioting soon if Dwayne Haskins doesn't get the start. They're pretty much tired of Case Keenum, and he did not have a very impressive week.
Well, he was also going up against the Chicago defense, so it's obvious any quarterback is going to look silly when you're playing against that defense led by Khalil Mack. But he had 5 total turnovers, 3 interceptions, and 2 fumbles. One of them was a pick six. It was just an awful performance. And actually, before the half even ended, to go into halftime, they were chanting Dwayne Haskins. The Ohio State quarterback was drafted late in the first round, and the Redskins want to see some change. Dan Snyder, well, he's just a terrible owner, if you ask me. But we'll go from there. Maybe Haskins will start soon. I would give it 3 to 4 weeks. Otherwise, the Redskins they're not even trying to lose. That's like the sad thing. At least with the Dolphins, they're tanking. They have a plan. The Redskins legit just don't know what they're doing, and they just can't win football games. Last year, the Redskins, they had Alex Smith, the quarterback from Kansas City before Mahomes took over. He had them at a really great record. They were 6-2, I believe, and then after that, they finished the season 7-9 after that gruesome leg injury against the Texans.
Yeah, they look like they're a great season.
Yeah, they're a completely different team without Alex Smith, and with Case Keenum leading the way. We'll see where they end up, but it's not looking too good for the Washington Redskins.
The Saints seem to be doing just fine without Drew Brees, as Teddy Bridgewater stepped in and he led them to that big time win on Sunday.
Yeah, they were in Seattle, which is already hard enough to win. They act like the 12th man. You can barely hear there. It's just like the Mega Dome at home, so maybe that's why the Saints are used to all the noise going on. But the Saints took over. Teddy Bridgewater and them, they were leading the way. Alvin Kamara is making his case to be one of the leading MVP candidates, and also, too, Seattle just got out-coached by Sean Payton and his team. They were losing on special teams. They were losing on defense. There was pointless turnovers created by the Seattle Seahawks. They let the dude return it for a punt return touchdown, and you just can't do that. If you let that happen, you're not going to win football games. But Seattle's still a great team led by Russell Wilson. They have a good defense with Jadeveon Clowney on the defensive side of the ball. We'll see where the Seattle Seahawks end up, but they are a top 10 NFL team as of now. Maybe fringe top 10, but I'm going to take the Seattle Seahawks as a top 10 team. And also, finishing up the game clock today, Mahomes is once again making his case for MVP. Over 1,195 passing yards and 10 touchdowns and 0 picks, and he has the Chiefs at 3-0. It seems like every week Patrick Mahomes is breaking some record held by a previous NFL player. He's just amazing to watch. And I was watching some sports coverage on Patrick Mahomes. They're comparing Patrick Mahomes to Steph Curry, how Steph Curry changed the NBA with the way he did his three-pointers, and how the whole team is now, or how the whole league is now revolved around the three-point ball. We'll see what Mahomes does, but he's throwing no-look passes and hitting his targets. He's throwing 70-yard bombs to Sammy Watkins and Hardman, but that's just me. But the MVP candidates, it's going to be a close race. It's only week 3 going into week 4, but we'll see where we end up.
Yeah, it just seems like Mahomes gets more and more impressive every single week. I mean, it looks like there's no slowing him down, and the Chiefs definitely look poised to make another lengthy playoff run this year.
Yeah, and you know what's crazy is that Mahomes has only started in, I believe, like 19 games, something ridiculous, and he's thrown for over 6,000 yards in 19 games. That's absurd.
Yeah.
In these last 3 games alone, Patrick Mahomes has over 350 passing yards and 2 touchdowns. That's insane. That's never heard of before. I mean, you know, like Brett Favre is a gunner, but Patrick Mahomes just puts Brett Favre in the dust. So unless some crazy injury or some crazy Madden curse comes out to get Patrick Mahomes, I think he's going to win the MVP. This has been Sam Olaj
And John Matthews.
with the Game Clock. See you next week.